Thanks for joining us again at Grano's Table. Today we are doing another very simple recipe. This is another family favorite. It is been at every holiday gathering that I can recall growing up, and it's actually Grano's mother's recipe. It's called that pie. Now, you say that pie. What kind of pie is that pie? Well, good guess. We don't know. Everybody just says, can I have some more of that pie? Because that's what everybody talked about and that's how they said it. Give me some more of that pie. So it's pretty simple. I'm sure there's a name for it somewhere. I'm sure, certainly, my family's not the only one that makes this. So really easy. We're going to get into it right away. Not many ingredients at all. We're going to start with an 8-ounce, or small if you prefer, but 8 ounces of whipped topping, otherwise known as Cool Whip. But since this is not a brand named Cool Whip, we're just going to call it a whipped topping. So 8 ounces of Cool Whip, a small container. I don't like Cool Whip. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I prefer to make fresh whipped cream, but for this, you got to use Cool Whip. But I like it in this because you don't taste the Cool Whip. This comes frozen, of course, so this has been in the fridge, defrosting a little bit, so it's nice and fluffy. But I do notice there's a few lumps from, still being a little bit cold and maybe frozen in the center. So, but to that we will do, cheat sheet. So we're gonna do that. We've got also 1 can of condensed milk. This is the name brand, Eagle brand, because the recipe that Grano, in her handwritten recipe that says Granny's That Pie, does say 1 can of Eagle. Well, we knew what she meant, Eagle brand milk. And this is a 14-ounce can of condensed milk that we'll put in this. This will rot your teeth. This is a very sweet pie. But it's so delicious, which is why everybody said, give me another slice of that pie. Grano's mother, who again we called Granny B, was the cafeteria manager at Brown Elementary School in Smyrna, in Georgia. Gosh, I don't know how many years, but that's where she worked and that's where she retired from. And I don't know really where she came up with this recipe or where she got it from at all, really. And then we're going to add 1/4 cup of lemon juice. This is the magic. This is what makes this pie set up. It's what makes it happen. So we'll add the 1/4 cup of lemon juice to that. And then we're going to add 8 ounces of crushed pineapple. This has been drained. We don't want all that juice in there. I'm going to add that in there. And I do have my whisk out. I have whisked this up before, but I do think I'm going to be able to stir this. I don't think I'm going to need my whisk. So just stir this up, and that's basically it. That's all that goes in this. Pretty simple. We're going to put this into a graham cracker pie crust in a moment. You can buy a graham cracker pie crust. I chose to make one today because when I looked at the price of a graham cracker single 9-inch graham cracker pie crust, it was $1 more to buy an entire box of name brand graham crackers and make my own. And I'll give you the recipe for that in just a second and tell you how I made it. We're just going to quickly mix this up. Very, very easy. Get everything well incorporated. And again, this is it's pretty sweet, but it's not bad. I say rot your teeth. It's not as bad as all that. But again, every holiday, really every family function, mostly, I remember having that pie. I make this in the summer, spring and summer usually. It's a really good hot weather treat because it's really refreshing and cool. Now this, of course, has pineapple in it, crushed pineapple. I've done this with other fruit. Really finely chopped strawberries, fresh strawberries is delicious in this. You could do some sliced blueberries. You could do some really finely cut up peaches. if they were fresh in the summer. It's really, really good. I've also topped this with, like if I've done strawberries, I've topped this with some sliced strawberries and like pecan halves and made it look, decorated it, made it look pretty for whatever I was doing, whatever event. But anyway, this is good and mixed up. Looks good to me. So we will take this, and I've got a pie crust over there. Hold on. So again, I chose to make mine because I thought, it's way more economical to make this, and this is super simple. Pie plate that I've got 50 of. But this is 6 ounces of crushed up graham crackers and 3 ounces of melted butter, which is roughly about 6 tablespoons. And then about 1.5 tablespoons of sugar and about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And you basically just mix that up until it's like wet sand, and then it'll hold together in your hand, it'll form. Put it in the pie plate. Use the back of a measuring cup to push it down and form it. And then I bake this off at 350 for about 12 minutes. And then you let it cool completely. You don't want to put this into a warm pie shell at all. So this is mixed up now. It's been my experience that there is always more filling than there is pie or pie shell. So dump this in slowly because I don't want to overfill this. But there always seems to be a couple more spoonfuls of this than there is capacity in your pie shell. Can put a little more in there. Just kind of work it to the edge. And then we're going to put this in the fridge and we're going to let it chill. You can put it in for a few hours, 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours. Overnight I found is best because you really want it to set up because you want to be able to cut this. And like I said, there's always way more filling than will fit in one of these. A deep dish pie crust would be good if you were going to buy one of the store-bought ones. You could buy a deep dish 9-inch pie crust for this. But what's great is if you put this leftover filling, which there's maybe a cup and a half left, put this in the fridge and let it set up. I could eat this with a spoon. It's a good quick dessert. But I do fill this up pretty full. And kind of smooth it off. And that's it. That is that pie. And so if you make this and you have people over and they ask you what's for dessert, you can say that pie. And if they say, what's that pie? That pie. So, simple, easy dessert. Make this for spring or summer. And join us again at Grano's table where we'll be serving that pie.